So let's jump right in. When you hear the words contemplative spirituality, what pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's probably a quiet retreat, right? A life kind of hidden away from the rest of the world. Well, today, we're looking at a perspective that flips that whole idea on its head. We're going to explore how the deep inner life of Carmelite spirituality, which is all about quiet prayer and contemplation, is actually this incredibly powerful engine for a mission that spans the entire globe.
And honestly, there's no better person to kick this off with than Saint Therese of Lisieux. She was a Carmelite nun, lived a super quiet, hidden life, and yet she's also a patron saint of missionaries. Think about it. Her entire world was a small convent, but her ambition was to be love itself, everywhere.
So that just begs the question, right? How on earth can a life that's all about being hidden, all about quiet prayer, possibly have a massive global impact? I mean, it seems like a total contradiction. But as we're about to see, it's not a contradiction at all. In fact, it's the very heart of this whole thing.
The way our source material puts it, Carmelite spirituality isn't about retreating from the world, it's about transforming it from the inside out. That inner life of prayer and contemplation, it's not an escape, it's the wellspring, the very source of power that fuels the entire mission.
Okay, so to really get the urgency of this mission, we have to look at how life itself is framed here. And it's intense. It's presented not as some passive journey, but as an active spiritual battle, a conflict with eternal consequences where every single person has to choose a side.
This whole idea gets crystal clear when you look at St. Ignatius of Loyola's Meditation on the Two Standards. And the point here is just so stark. In this battle, there's no neutral ground. You can't just sit on the sidelines. Trying to abstain is basically the same as handing the victory to the other side.
So, what are the choices? This slide lays it out with such a clear contrast. You've got one commander rallying followers with promises of everything the world tells us to want: pleasure, possessions, power, and pride. And then you have the other commander, Jesus Christ, calling his followers to a totally different standard, one of love, courage, and self-sacrifice, all for the salvation of others.
And this is where it gets really personal. This isn't just some abstract idea from a book. The source is basically looking right at us and asking, after seeing those two standards, where do you see yourself? What part are you playing in all this? All right, so I get it. The idea of a spiritual battle for the world can sound, well, pretty overwhelming. But the Carmelite answer isn't about some grand superhero move. It's something much smaller, much quieter, and way more accessible. It's called the little way.
I mean, this is the thought that gets all of us, isn't it? The problem feels huge, and we feel so small. I'm just one person. What can I really do? It feels like you're a tiny boat in a huge ocean. It's a totally normal, very human feeling.
But here's the thing. The answer we get is that this mission was never meant for just a handful of special people. This quote from Pope Francis makes it so clear. This call is for everyone. Christ personally entrusts this mission to each and every one of us. And the key is, it's not about what you can do alone, but what you can do when you plug into his mission.
So how does it actually work? Well, it's a method that Jesus himself used. Instead of trying to reach the whole world at once, he poured his time and energy into just a small group of people. He taught them, he formed them, he empowered them, and that created this incredible ripple effect, what our source calls spiritual multiplication.
And here it is, broken down into 3 totally doable steps. It's a pretty simple process, really, like a chain reaction. First, you don't try to change the whole world. You just humbly invest in a few people. Second, you focus on building them up, helping them grow in their faith. And finally, you empower them to go out and do the exact same thing with others. See? A ripple effect.
And you know what's so freeing about this? You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't need to be this amazing, charismatic speaker. This is a quiet, humble method that works because of genuine personal connection, not a big personality. The power is in its simplicity. Okay, so let's make this super practical. How can you take this idea of investing in a few people and actually use it in your own life? Think about your family, your friends, your coworkers. The whole point is to see our everyday relationships as the main stage for this mission.
But let's be real, a mission this important, it's not going to be a walk in the park. The source is super upfront about this. There's a cost, a real price to pay. But on the other side of that, there's a reward that's, well, it's described as being completely off the charts.
And here they are, no sugarcoating. This road, it's going to ask for self-denial.
It's going to take up your time, pull you out of your comfort zone, and yep, you're almost definitely going to face discouragement, maybe even rejection. It's not the easy path for sure.
And this isn't some new idea. It's grounded right in the words of Jesus. This idea of sacrifice, it's been part of the deal from the very beginning. The cost is real, and it's tough.
But after laying out all that difficulty, the source makes this massive pivot. It goes from the cost to the reward. And it all comes down to this one single, powerful word. The impact isn't temporary, the prize isn't worldly. It is eternal.
So what does an eternal impact even look like? St. Catherine of Siena gives us this incredible image. She says the reward for taking on this mission, for paying the cost, is that you become who you were truly meant to be, and through that, you have an effect so profound it can set the world on fire.
And that's where we're left, with that incredible idea turned into a direct challenge for every single one of us. It's not about what some saint did hundreds of years ago. The question for you, for me, right here, right now, is this: how are you going to set the world on fire?